Welcome to the Book Binge. I'm your host, King Crusoe. You can call me KC, and today is going to be a pretty quick video, pretty short one. I just needed an extra video to fill a slot in this month that I could prepare ahead of time because of a trip that I'm taking through a significant portion of December. So, no beating around the bush today. Let's talk about what my next manga read is going to be. And starting off with, some of the manga that I've read so far. If you follow this channel regularly, you probably know that I don't read that much manga. I've only read a few of them up to this point. It's been a long time since I last really mentioned manga on the channel. For example, I haven't read any since I finished one early this year, like early February basically, and then I reviewed that I think in like May or something. So it's been at least half a year since I've properly talked about manga on this channel, and it's only been a handful of times in the first place. In April of 2024, I did read the single volume Goodbye Eri, which I liked a lot. You can check that video out, my review of this on the channel somewhere. I'll probably go ahead and link the playlist in the description below of all of my manga related videos because there's only a handful of them, but my review of Goodbye Eri is available. A few months after that, in August of 2024, was when I read Uzumaki by Junji Ito, and this was overall pretty great. There were some chapters that didn't fully do it for me, but there was a lot of other moments that really did. So you can check out what was and wasn't hit or miss in my review of Uzumaki that I would have done on the channel as well. And then from September of 2024 through February of 2025 was when I read the 9 volumes of Monster and got through all of that. And like I said, it was February early this year, probably, 10 months ago at the time that this video releases, since I finished reading Monster. And then it was a few months after that when I finally got around to actually reviewing it. I want to say it was late May of this year when I actually reviewed it, but it might have been even a little bit later than that. But those 3 manga so far are the only manga that I have read up to this point. So, what else do I have planned? I did make a video even before I started reading any manga about the top 5 manga that I wanted to read. I can't remember what I own and what I plan is still consistent with that video. I'm pretty certain that Uzumaki and Goodbye Eri were 2 of those 5 that I talked about in there. Monster might have been as well. I just don't remember if it was or not. I mean, it probably was, given the timing of when I actually started it, so it probably was. But if you want to check that out, you can check out, I guess, a couple of the other manga that I want to read. But I'm going to be mentioning those in this video, so you don't need to. The more important part of that video is actually talking about a couple manga that I don't plan to read, and definitely not right now, if nothing else. But there are 3 manga that I do have plans to read at some point here. Right now, basically, the 3 that are on the docket that I could choose from, that I own, that are easy access. One of those is Vinland Saga. This is, of course, going to be the most popular, the most well-known of these options that I have. Vinland Saga, of course, is not complete yet, however. It should be pretty close to done, but it is not complete, so I decided that I'm not going to start with that right now, especially since it's also pretty long, and given just how poor of a reading year 2025 has been for me, I don't anticipate just being able to get very much of that done as quickly as I would like to. At this point, it might very well be complete by the time I actually get around to starting it, unfortunately. So, spoiler alert, that's not the next manga that I'm going to read. Another one that I've had on the docket and that I've been more or less planning to try to read for the last year and a half, back before I even started reading Monster. I think Goodnight Poon Poon was going to be the manga that I read instead, but then I decided that after my grandfather dying and then some other things that happened in late 2024, I just wasn't in the mood to read something as purportedly depressing as Goodnight Poon Poon is. So I did not read this at the time, but it has been on the docket since then, despite how, again, purportedly depressing this series is. All of my friends who have read it have really connected with the story, so it's one that I'm excited to check out at some point, despite seeming to be a little bit goofy, a little bit wacky, a little bit more out there in some ways. But it is one that I'm excited to read. And then the other manga that I do have plans to read, or more or less immediate plans to read, is The Girl from the Other Side by Nagabe. And this is comes here in 4 beautiful deluxe editions, one of which I had to buy because it wasn't available for some reason on Amazon, but the other 3 were gifted to me by friends for my birthday last year. Thank you very much to Reen. I know Reen gifted me at least one of them, but he might have gifted me all of them. He might have been a crazy person and done that. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I'm sorry if I've forgotten that. By now, I'm pretty sure I still have thank you notes in these, though, so we'll see. I don't know. But you know, by the fact that I've showed you all 4 of these covers, you probably have been able to guess that what is actually going to be my next manga read. What is the point of this entire video? The Girl from the Other Side is my next manga read, and at the time that this video comes out, I've probably already started it. At the time that this video releases should be December 9th, and this is basically what I plan to read while I am out of town for a little while. At the beginning of the month, from December 5th through December 3rd through 6th, I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be in Salt Lake City working Christopher Rocchio's booth at Dragonsteel Nexus. So I'm probably not going to have a whole lot of like normal reading time during that time. And then immediately after the convention is over, from the 7th through the 13th for an entire week, I'm going to be over on the other side of the country in New Jersey, visiting over there for a week. So there's going to be a solid week and a half, if not closer to 2 weeks worth of time, where I'm just not going to really be able to read very much stuff physically, or where I'm not going to anticipate being able to have much time to read things physically. But I know that manga reads a little bit quicker. It's a little bit easier to just throw a chapter in now and again, because of how short and quick these things can go. And Girl from the Other Side, based off of recommendations of the friend who recommended it to me in the first place, being Reen, this seems like it's going to be a little bit more of a vibe, something that I can enjoy just being able to experience a little bit more casually through the month. And given that I'm going to have that week of time where I'm probably not going to be doing any other reading in the first place, I do want to read a little bit of this as a manga in the meantime. So again, by the time this video releases, I probably started reading this already, even though at the time of recording, I have not started reading it yet. But this is my next manga read, so that's the answer to the question. That is the point of this entire video. Given that it has been a good little bit since I've done any manga reading, this just kind of felt like the right time to be able to throw something in, and because, again, you know, some of the vibes, a little bit more of the atmospheric type of stuff that I'm looking for at the moment, Girl from the Other Side just seems to fit the bill a little bit better than, say, Goodnight Poon Poon would. So that's why I chose this. Like I said, this was going to be a short video, just kind of wanted to update and say that I'm getting back to a little bit of manga again, although it will probably not be until like a month or 2 into 2026 before I'm actually finished with the series. We'll see. I could finish in December, who knows? Depends on how much time I decide to spend on this stuff. But yeah, that's what I got planned here. Expect updates of my reading with this alongside all my other stuff in the normal monthly reading wrap-up and TBR videos that I post on the first Tuesday of every month. And then expect a review for this sometime next year, whenever it is that I do finish the series, because even if I finish it in December, all of my December video plans are done. So that's not something that would come out until some point in 2026. But that's going to be it for this video. I know it was a little bit of a shorter one. I hope that somebody enjoyed this to some degree. I really hope you did anyway. But for now, that's going to be it. I've been your host, King Crusoe. You can call me KC. Sorry about my voice, because I've had a little bit of a cold for the past week. Probably more than a cold even at the time of recording this. So that's probably why I sound so off. But in either case, I hope to see you guys in the next video.